you've laid with.
I've never been with nobody down at the DMV.
Okay.
That's your gas pedal, your brake. You've got your signals for the left and the right. Now let me see what you got.
Yeah, okay, sure.
This is a cute little restaurant. That's no
You better quit pulling your teeth out.
Do you think I'm going to get a lot of money from Tip here?
I think there is a huge chance that you're going to do very well.
Of course she is. We wouldn't expect any less, would we, Grayson?
No.
Chloe's gonna get treated.
Todd Chrisley, 52, a self-made millionaire who made his fortune in real estate, is a reality TV star. On the USA Network's Chrisley Knows Best, he shares his outrageous life story as well as that of his southern eccentric clan. Since Chrisley Knows Best premiered on April 2, 2019, Todd has experienced both good times and challenging times, including issues with his two oldest children and income taxes. All of this exposed for viewers to see. We'll cover a lot of topics in today's video, including Todd Chrisley, Julie Chrisley, all of the Chrisley kids, and so much more. To avoid missing any information, be sure to stick around until the very end of the video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Topish. We have some exciting stories that are full of lip-smacking delicacies, so make sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. With that being said, let's begin. With the debut of their reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best on the USA Network in March 2014, Todd and Julie Chrisley achieved fame almost 10 years ago. The so-called real estate billionaires gave guests a tour of their Atlanta home and provided a glimpse into their family life. Following Todd and Julie's recent criminal charges, USA Network's most watched original series, Chrisley Knows Best, may now appear differently. Todd Chrisley revealed the story of where and how he met his wife of 25 years, Julie Chrisley, on the March 10, 2022 episode of their podcast, Chrisley Confessions. Julie worked at a bank owned by one of our friends, and when I went in on one day, she was there. She was dressed in a yellow gown, and I thought to myself, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. But I met her for the first time when she walked into my friend's house, and it was during the winter months. I remember thinking to myself, she has the most beautiful smile I have ever seen, and she's the only woman who's ever touched my soul. When Julie was given the news that she had breast cancer in 2012, the couple faced a significant challenge. The native of South Carolina had a double mastectomy and later went into remission. According to Julie, who spoke to the Tennessean in 2018, her husband was responsible for persuading her to get the mammogram that detected the health concern early. He never winced once. Our relationship was elevated to a whole new level, in my opinion, at that precise moment. When USA's Chrisley Knows Best debuted in 2014, the couple's marriage became the subject of their own reality show. Todd and Julie have persisted in extolling the virtues of their close relationship both on and off camera. I had the good fortune to marry my best friend, the only woman I've ever loved, and the person who truly gave me the courage to face this crazy world and thrive psychologically, emotionally, and financially. The most wonderful mother I could have ever wished for our children, the businessman paid tribute to his wife on Instagram in May 2020. The pair, who have collaborated on a variety of projects over the year, made the decision to support one another in a wellness partnership as well. In January 2022, Todd and Julie signed on as Neurosystem ambassadors and noted that the main focus was on feeling good on the inside and out. I don't believe in dieting because I don't want to restrict my options. I discovered, however, that I didn't have to with the Neurosystem plan. Before making light of the drawbacks of working on the program with Julie, Todd told us, "The only drawback to Neurosystem in the end is that I actually know how to fix it myself, something I've never had to do. Now that Julie is aware that I'm capable of handling things on my own, she's decided that I require that level of independence." The father and mother made headlines on June 7, 2022 when they were found guilty of tax fraud and sentenced to 30 years in prison. Let's talk about this for now. According to the indictment, Todd and Julie were found guilty on several counts on June 7th, including conspiring to steal more than $30 million in fraudulent personal loans from banks, conspiring to defraud the IRS, and tax evasion. Julie was found guilty of wire fraud as well as obstruction of justice, in addition to the 8 financial fraud counts and 2 tax evasion counts that she was already found guilty of. Before appearing on Chrisley Knows Best, Todd and Julie allegedly submitted false bank statements, audit reports, and personal financial bank statements in order to obtain loans, according to the indictment. With $20 million in debt, Todd declared bankruptcy. Reportedly, the same conduct occurred once more. Around this time, the success of Chrisley Knows Best allowed them to operate a loan-out company that received their income earned from their show and other entertainment ventures. They kept the corporate bank accounts only in Julie's name in order to avoid paying Todd's delinquent taxes. According to the indictment, Todd and Julie failed to file their taxes with the IRS from 2013 to 2016. The paper also listed Peter Tarantino as a defendant and stated that the government does not oppose this request. Peter Tarantino was the duo's former accountant. For the reasons already stated, the court grants this motion. In accordance with the paperwork which was submitted to the Atlanta Division of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Georgia, the couple jointly moved for a new trial through their attorneys. The government, according to the motion, presented and refused to refute false testimony by IRS Revenue Officer Betty Carter, who lied for years regarding the Chrisleys' tax liability when she knew no taxes were owed. The motion goes on to say that the testimony had the effect of inaccurately depicting the Chrisleys as dishonest, likely to participate in various types of fraud, and dodging the tax payments claimed in the indictment. The Chrisleys' Fourth Amendment rights were also allegedly violated, according to the lawsuit. By protecting them from arbitrary government searches and seizures, citizens are protected by the Fourth Amendment. There's no evidence to support the claim in the letter that Julie participated in any of the expressly alleged bank scams. Returning to the show, Todd stated that when it first aired, his family created a sizzle reel, which they sent out to several networks, and 9 out of 10 who received it were ready to make a deal. And I thought to myself, wow, the world really does possess a desire for crazy, she says. Todd stated, okay. The show, now in its recent season, follows Todd and his wife Julie as they raise their children. To give you some more background on the family, we have the history for you. Lindsie, Kyle, Chase, Savannah, and Grayson are Todd Chrisley's 5 biological children. Todd Chrisley is the father of 5 biological children by 2 different women. Teresa Terry, Todd's first wife, was his high school girlfriend, and the mother of his 2 children, Lindsie and Kyle. Julie, his current wife, is the mother of 3 children, Chase, Savannah, and Grayson. The marriage probably wouldn't have happened, Teresa asserts, if she hadn't been expecting. The native of South Carolina acknowledged to the Daily Mail in 2014, "If I hadn't been pregnant, we most likely wouldn't have gotten married. But it was significant that we did." She went on to describe the small wedding she had, stating that there were 6 guests on each side, and the church was crowded in spite of the small size of the town where we lived. Todd is Julie's second husband, just as Julie is Todd's second wife. They married in 1996, and she too married her high school sweetheart from the first time. Julie is from South Carolina and the daughter of a Baptist minister. Julie appears on her own video content Cooking with Julie Chrisley on USA Network, in addition to appearing on Chrisley Knows Best. Although Julie's long-term relationship with Todd is what most of her fans are familiar with, it wasn't the first time she had a serious romantic relationship. Julie was already married to Kenneth Wayne Childress, her high school sweetheart, years before she and Todd fell in love. Here is a summary of the information that is currently known about their union. According to Us Weekly, Julie Nee Hughes married Kenneth in Oconee County, South Carolina in March 1991, when the bride was only 18 and the groom was 24. Kenneth was a pipe fitter who worked in construction, and the couple never had kids together. Although the precise date of their divorce is still unknown, it seems as though their marriage was brief and fizzled out just a few years after they were wed. According to the Us magazine, Kenneth passed away in 2012 as a result of complications following heart surgery. The reality star was still legally married to Kenneth when she started dating Todd, according to a woman posing as Julie's sister-in-law who made the claim to Radar in 2017. But the information was never verified. To set the scene, Julie and Todd got married in 1996. Regardless of how their relationship began, Julie and Todd have managed to make things work and create a happy marriage and family over the course of the last close to 3 decades. With Chloe, their granddaughter, in their care, they're proud parents of Savannah Chase and Grayson Chrisley. Let's take a look at what these 5 children are up to in 2022. Let's take a closer look. Lindsie, Todd's oldest daughter with ex-wife Teresa Terry, was born on September 17, 1989. Lindsie was the first in the family to graduate from college, earning a degree in advertising from Georgia State University in 2012. Lindsie initially made an appearance on Chrisley Knows Best, but as a result of a claim that she and her mother had filed a tax evasion complaint against her father and Julie, she is currently estranged from him. She has refuted the accusation. The 31-year-old's impending divorce from Will Campbell, with whom she shares 9-year-old Jackson, is more a recent drama. Let's go into more detail about her. Lindsie, Todd's oldest daughter, announced last July that she and her husband of 9 years, Will, were divorcing. Since then, she's been adjusting to life as a single mother, and to share the sad news, Lindsie wrote on her Instagram, "A door closes, then another opens. Will and I have mutually decided to divorce after 9 years of marriage. This decision has been made with the utmost sadness." She went on to explain, "We cherish our time spent together and continue to show each other the utmost respect and love. As devoted parents to our son, whom we both adore dearly, and as friends, we will continue to be friends." The former couple later divided and sold their assets, including their Georgia house, and now reside in separate homes with joint custody of their son Jackson, who's 8 years old. No alimony or spousal support was agreed upon as a part of their divorce settlement. On his podcast Chrisley Confessions, Todd didn't think twice to weigh in on Lindsie's divorce, saying, "As the world knows, we do not have a relationship. Lindsie doesn't really communicate with our family, and we do not really reach out to Lindsie." He went on to explain more about their peculiar dynamic. "It's always done via a tabloid article or another similar method. They can't fight when there's no communication, so there's no way for them to do so. Today is a sad day." The father-daughter team's relationship has become so bad that they've decided to refrain from even mentioning one another in the social media. Lindsie clarified the record and said that she would never reconcile with the patriarch of the Chrisley family, despite all the ups and downs in her life, disappointing fans who were hoping for a reconciliation between the two. The former Chrisley Knows Best star seems to be in a great place right now, based on her recent Instagram posts. Recently, she posted a number of images implying that she's more excited about the future than sad about the past. On social media, the 32-year-old is no stranger to being open and honest, which Todd has since blocked her on. She wrote in April, "Television shows with a real-world focus, media upheavals, podcasts, family conflicts, divorce, legal disputes. I've managed all of these over the past few years, and for the most part, I've remained quiet and tried to let the storm pass. I've tried to move on with my life, but I keep getting Google alerts that make me feel anxious, fearful, and exhausted." Last but not least, Lindsie was frank about her parents' recent conviction on her podcast Coffee Convos. She said, "I think it's fair to say that the public is interested in what's going on behind the scenes. If reconciliation is ever possible, it would be. Work on projects together and potential returns to Chrisley Knows Best, every one of those things. That's not interesting because we live our lives in public, but to say that would be naive." Prior to the reconciliation, Lindsie felt compelled to inform the public of it in order to mend her relationship with her parents. Nevertheless, she acknowledged on her podcast that the pressure of media, and not all media, but certain media pressuring to tell the world about a reconciliation that they have no idea about, or the intricacies of that, is very reckless and very harmful. Lindsie was very open about how the verdict shocked and saddened her after learning of the conviction. She also spoke with People on June 23rd and said, "I will also go on record today and say that I love my parents, I love my siblings, and I love my grandmother. I want people to hear this important message. I won't talk about anything else other than how much I love them and how I stand by them right now when it comes to the future of our relationships. Through good times, bad times, and ugly times, I will stand by them." Todd's oldest son Kyle was born on August 29, 1991, and he's now 31 years old. He has bipolar disorder and is currently recovering from addiction. He made an appearance on the first season of Chrisley Knows Best, but his father and he fell out after his drug addiction flared up again. In August of that year, Kyle reconciled with Todd after regaining sobriety. So let's explore Kyle's life in more detail. Because of his personal issues, Kyle has spent years stepping in and out of the spotlight. Although he used to appear on the show infrequently, he's now a mainstay. After Kyle's saddening downward spiral, an attempted suicide, and a relapse in the first seasons, things are not exactly looking up for him. However, he recovered from his addiction and rebuilt his life successfully, mending ties with his estranged relatives, including his daughter Chloe, who has developed into a stunning young woman. He's made it clear that he wants to be involved in her life and frequently spends time with her. He also praised his father and thanked him for adopting his daughter and giving the best upbringing while he was going through a trying time. Just a quick question though, who exactly is Chloe Chrisley? Daughter of Todd's son Kyle and his ex-girlfriend Angela Johnson, Chloe Chrisley, also known as Coco, is Todd's child. She's the beloved child of Chrisley's family, having been born on November 10, 2012, at the age of 9. Following her father's arrest in 2013, Chloe moved in with Todd and Julie. Initially, they shared custody of his granddaughter with Angela. However, after Angela was detained in 2016 on suspicion of fraud, Todd was given sole custody. Kyle told the Daily Mail about some of the family's drama while he was fighting to get his daughter back from Todd and Julie. According to Kyle, "My dad never expressed any interest in Chloe before the show, and before it was made clear that having a mixed-race child and getting her and all that would be good for his demographic," he spoke to a British tabloid. Prior to that, he was unwilling to see her. He claimed he had no desire to interact with her. "I've had nothing but bad experiences with the show. He's now destroyed me as well as the other 3 spoiled children he has." Todd says he hopes for the best for his kids regardless of how he feels about them. He said in the same Chrisley Confessions podcast episode, "They will continue to remain in my prayers as they always do. I will continue to pray for all of my children on a daily basis, including at bedtime and when I first lift my head in the morning." Let's get back to Kyle now though, okay? Despite all the difficulties he's had to overcome lately, he's doing well in his personal life. The 30-year-old fell in love once more with Ashley Nelson, and in March of last year, they were married in St. Augustine, Florida. As no witnesses are listed on the marriage certificate, it is believed that the ceremony was strictly private. Moving on, let's discuss Savannah Chrisley. The 24-year-old, who was crowned Miss Tennessee Teen in USA in 2016, was born on August 11, 1997, and is the creator of the cosmetics line Sassy. In addition, she introduced the Faith Over Fear clothing line in 2017 and the Rampage x Savannah Chrisley clothing line in 2019. When Savannah first started at Lipscomb University, she later transferred to Belmont University, where she eventually earned her degree. Her tattoo of the word faith on her wrist show how important faith is to her. We all know that Savannah, one of the Chrisley family's most liked members, has broadened her horizons beyond reality television by becoming an entrepreneur with her Sassy Savannah beauty line. Her career as a reality star, influencer, beauty queen, and businesswoman has served as an example for many, but when asked if she has any regrets, her response was quite surprising. She admitted during a question and answer session on her Instagram that "Sometimes I really wish I was never on TV. The unfavorable remarks occasionally hurt." Savannah was involved in a controversy earlier this year as a result of Nick Chrisley's or her ex-fiancé, who attempted suicide after having a psychotic episode and threatening to shoot himself with a gun. Savannah, who was in the area, is said to have cut her hand while attempting to reach her ex-boyfriend through a broken window. To put an end to the growing rumors and reveal what really caused Nick's emotional breakdown, the 24-year-old made an appearance on Instagram Live with Todd and Nick. As they discussed Nick's issue with mental health, they all became emotional. He acknowledged that he had considered suicide while battling COVID side effects, depression, and anxiety. The Chrisleys said they were proud of the advancement Nick had made since the ordeal, and the video ended on a positive note. Savannah also revealed more about the new life philosophy she's created in response to her parents' beliefs. The typically sassy TV personality admitted that they have essentially had to live in the moment as a result of the upset while speaking on her parents' podcast, Chrisley Confessions. "Life has changed so much that I don't even know where to start," she said. "You must, however, sort of just go with the flow and take each day as it comes. In a way, that's where we are now." The Chrisleys are therefore doing the best they can do to manage their situation. However, part of that entails them having to contend with the unfavorable press coverage and public criticism that have been given to them. On the podcast, Savannah Chrisley brought up the paradox of how some people are becoming more sensitive while others have lost all sense of their decency in their interactions with others in public. She said, "I think just with everything that we've had and that we're dealing with right now, it's hard to live in the world we live in. Which really shocks me because it just seems like people are just getting more and more sensitive as time goes on. I can't imagine how you could possibly become more sensitive to your own emotions while becoming less sensitive to those of others. We've dealt with that, in my opinion. Personally, I've experienced that. The comments made since everything collapsed are just unbelievable." Most spectators Savannah Chrisley bluntly charged were not educated on the fraud case, speaking about how talking about someone's sexuality or talking about their downfall as fact is just not the truth. She even seemed to make reference to the rumors that were going around about her dad's purported gay love affair with a co-defendant that were made public again during the trial. The eldest Chrisley daughter pleaded with the listeners to give them a chance to eventually present their side of the story. Savannah initially reacted by saying that life was so cruel when she finally spoke out about Todd and Julie Chrisley's conviction in June. She was adamant, however, that their family had been failed by the justice system and that they intended to challenge the judgments in court. The Chrisley Knows Best actress later said that she's actually grateful for the legal difficulties because they've strengthened her faith and her relationships with her family. When Savannah decided to extend her vacation on the Cayman Islands following the passing of her grandmother, Faye's sister Frances, she recently came under fire. Negative comments about her behavior and suggestions that she should have returned home right away to comfort her grieving family flooded the comment section of her Instagram post. Once more, a quick question: who is Faye Chrisley? Todd Chrisley's mother, Faye Chrisley, also known as Nanny Faye to her grandchildren, is 77 years old. She frequently makes an appearance on Chrisley Knows Best to share her wealth of knowledge and give her son and grandchildren witty advice. It's obvious that she keeps the family grounded and is still a significant part of her son's life, despite their on-camera arguments. Todd wrote a lengthy ode to his mother on Instagram in 2019 for her 75th birthday. Todd wrote on Instagram, "With all of my heart, I love you beyond words, and I thank God every day for you. Through every trial and tribulation our family has ever experienced, you've been the light that led us through the darkness. God, you are the model of what a real woman should be. Thank you for this blessing and for every blessing of strength and endurance that my mother has taught us all." It's time to move on and talk about Chase Chrisley, the following Chrisley child. Todd and Julie's oldest child, Chase, was born on June 1st, 1996 in South Carolina. He has a college degree, but the school he attended has never been made public, despite hints that it might have been Georgia State University like his half-sister. Chase has a history of participating in get-rich-quick schemes, but he announced in the Chrisley Knows Best Season 9 premiere that he will be entering the real estate industry like his father. Chase said to E! "Savannah and I both, we've been around real estate our entire lives. To both of us, I believe it has just kind of come naturally. Savannah joined me in that and we're currently working on real estate." In November 2020, Chase also introduced a line of candles called the Chase Chrisley Collection. He admitted to us that candles have always been a passion of mine. I got them from my mama. When I was a kid, my mom would always have beautiful candles lit and she could really set the mood in the room. Due to the increasing popularity of Chase and his sister Savannah, they were given their own spin-off, Growing Up Chrisley, which has already lasted for 3 seasons. The aspiring actor has experimented with a number of business endeavors, such as founding his own sneaker company and launching his own candle line. Grayson and Chase work 6 days a week, according to Todd, filming the reality show and concentrating on their individual projects. Chase was in a committed relationship with Emmy Metters, and the two made it known to the world by publicly declaring their love for one another on Instagram in July 2020. Fans supported their relationship and even hoped to witness their nuptials soon. But when Chase announced their split in August of last year, many people were taken aback. The news was a stark contrast to the Growing Up Chrisley teaser, which was unveiled back in July and hinted the couple's impending engagement as Chase was seen picking up an engagement ring. I'll admit that I've put the proposals on hold, that much is for certain. Chase previously told E! Online that was inconceivable. He spoke about the state of his relationship with his former partner and said, "Actually, Emmy and I aren't even a couple anymore. Excellent girl Emmy is. She's a wonderful person." Going into more detail, he continued, "I love her very much. Simply put, it was time for us to part ways. Although you can never predict the future, that's where we are right now." Due to the fact that they've deleted all evidence of their relationship from each other of their social media accounts, the cute couple appears to have called it quits forever. Growing Up Chrisley follows the lives of Chase and Savannah Chrisley as they enter adulthood. The Chrisley siblings were raised in luxury as Todd Chrisley's multimillionaire children, but instead of using their upbringing to make their mark in the world, they've decided to become independent. Chrisley Knows Best has covered a lot of Chase's highs and lows over the years, including his time being grounded, the beginning of his business, his practical jokes on his family, and his successful pursuit of a relationship. The show introduced Chase Chrisley's girlfriend Emmy Metters to all of his fans because it focuses on the siblings' individual dating lives. Chase appeared to have found his true love at last, and the couple was somewhat insane. The couple's status as a couple is still a topic of a discussion among fans. In a recent Growing Up Chrisley sneak peek episode, Chase tells Savannah that he adores her and only wants the best for her. He needs to remove her from his home though. Expressly removing her business from his home is required. Emmy Metters recently launched a tanning spraying company, as is known to Instagram followers who follow both the Chrisley family and Emmy Metters. Emmy Metters appears to have been operating her new company out of the house of her boyfriend though, and he's prepared for her to use facilities other than his house when she needs to. In the video, Chase Chrisley explains to Savannah that Emmy needs to get a truck or van so she can use a different location to apply her spray tans. Savannah Chrisley brushes off the remark and tells her brother to find a girlfriend who's motivated to work hard for the money if he wants to be happy. "Yes, but she isn't permitted to hustle in my house anymore," Chase fired back at his sister in retaliation. Many viewers have noted how much Chase's mother Julie Chrisley and Emmy share both physical and psychological similarities. There are a number of well-known TV actors and models who have dated Chase, including reality star Kayla Pouzas and Instagram model Brooke Nuri. His prior romantic connections with women didn't last very long, and the relationship between Chase and Emmy did appear to be taking more serious of a turn. The revelation that Chase and Emmy have known each other for some time comes as a surprise. Chrisley, the star of Growing Up Chrisley, previously acknowledged to Life and Style in 2020 that she had been a character she had met a few years ago, but that "I just had some growing up to do." The founder of Chase Chrisley Collection is looking and open to the possibility of meeting a new partner right now, but he's also thoroughly enjoying his time by himself. He stated, "I've never known such peace when I was alone." But for his new girlfriend, he'll have some seriously high expectations to live up to. In an interview with Life and Style in August 2020, Chase's father, Todd, admitted his affection for Emmy and expressed his gratitude that his son had met such a wonderful person. Back then, the patriarch of the family said, "When it comes to selecting potential dates, Chase has a thing for luck, and I've been open about the women he chooses. As a result of that prayer, God gave Emmy. She's a good, decent, honorable, and honest all-American sweetheart, and her family is in fact the definition of the phrase salt of the earth. The best family is hers without a doubt." Following in the footsteps of his father, Todd Chrisley, Chase is concentrating on his budding real estate career in the interim. "I grew up around real estate, and Savannah did too," said Chase. "Since we both do it fairly frequently, I think it has almost become automatic. Savannah joined me in the real estate project I was working on, so we're currently working together on it." Unlike his relationship with the former Emmy, Chase is committed to real estate for the long haul. "I definitely see myself doing it for a very long period of time." Are you as puzzled as we are right now? Do Chase and Emmy currently have a relationship still, or do they have a genuine rift? We must admit that it's difficult to believe that Chase Chrisley has time to foster a healthy relationship, given the fact that both of his parents have prison sentences hanging over their heads. In spite of all the obstacles, he is taking care of that emotional garden. With a relationship that has experienced more ups and downs than a roller coaster, Chase appears to be getting back together with his ex-girlfriend. Chase and Emmy seem to have returned to each other repeatedly, despite their relationship appearing to be bouncing around like a volleyball match. When Chase admitted to E! Online that he had pulled the brakes on his proposal, that's for sure, as well as the fact that he and Emmy were no longer dating, the relationship came to an end in August 2021. On April 8th, Chase was last spotted on Emmy's Instagram. Perhaps they were returning to well-known territory because the picture is taken in a fairly platonic style. On May 10th, however, they started kissing in public. Chase and Emmy attended a wedding together in August 2022, and as of the time of writing, they were still as smitten as they were in May. Thanks to Chrisley Knows Best advertising, Emmy has recently been thrust into the spotlight, and so far she seems to be holding her own. The conversation between the two is fantastic as Chase makes fun of his dad for acting as an extra in front of Emmy. Todd asks Emmy if Chase had warned her about him in order to quickly bring her into the conversation. Emmy is effortlessly adjusting to her new surroundings as stated in the video's description. That Chase and Emmy succeeded this time is all we can hope for. Grayson, the eldest child of Todd and Julie, was born on May 16, 2006, as seen on his Instagram account, which is managed by his father. The 15-year-old attends high school and likes sports. In addition to Chrisley Knows Best, Steve Harvey, The Real and Big Star, Little Star are a few of Grayson's other TV appearances. Additionally, he appeared as himself in the 2016 movie Sharknado 4: The Fourth Awakens. Grayson is the Chrisley family's youngest child, and as such, he is loved and spoiled by everyone. Currently, the 15-year-old is seeing Mary Elizabeth Fox, and despite the teen's lack of public acknowledgement of their relationship, the teen's girlfriend is happy to introduce her boyfriend to the public by posting numerous TikTok videos of the couple in which she refers to him as her boyfriend. The two have been in a committed relationship for a considerable amount of time, as evidenced by Mary's posting of a picture of the couple together with a love heart emoji in August of last year. As his mother Julie noted on her Instagram, Grayson chose Mary as his homecoming date in September. Even though the teen is still in high school, he's already working on his own professional projects, in addition to doing the family show's filming. Grayson started working on his clothing line when he was just 14 years old, and he's since expanded by getting into the sneaker business. Todd stated on the podcast Chrisley Confessions that Grayson is the sweetest child and has the most vulnerable heart. When dealing with someone who is that sensitive in the world we currently live in, you need to be extremely careful, especially when dealing with someone who has a big heart like Grayson, because it makes no difference if the outside world offends him. Todd says that Grayson has found it difficult to keep up with his upbeat attitude in light of the hateful comments that he's read on social media. He later revealed Todd's advice, which he received while having legal problems. You realize that by doing this, you're allowing someone you'll never meet to have an impact on your day, your mood, your sense of self-worth, and even who you and your family members are, the speaker said. Todd continued, I said, if you spent as much time listening to God as you do this text which someone sends who has 2 followers and a cat as their emoji. Julie added the following, what other people think of you shouldn't matter. Knowing your true self is crucial. Who you are as a person, as a partner, as a friend, as a parent, and as a child. The Chrisley family continues to grace our TV screens with their southern charm and sassy humor, so it is obvious that fans are obsessed with their antics. The family has assimilated into pop culture as a result of their quick ascent to fame, and consistently make news whether or not their popular series is airing. That ends today's video. Please leave a comment below to let us know what you think will happen next with the Chrisleys. Like and share this video to stay up to date on their progress, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Topish keeps you up to date on all the latest Hollywood celebrity news, drama, and gossip. Subscribe to our channel and check back for new videos and updates, and we'll see ya in the next video.